For our math warm-up today, we have 4 division problems with decimals. I'd like you to go ahead and figure out where the decimal point is going to go by creating an estimate first and then determining where to place that decimal. So go ahead and pause your video, complete those 4 problems, and come on back when you're ready. So if we take a look at the first problem, we have 20 and 75 hundredths divided by 8 and 3/10. If we're going to make an estimate, we might say 20 divided by 10 equals 2, which is then going to help us when we look at that 0250 to determine where the decimal point is going to go. So if my estimate is 2, I am going to place the decimal point between the 2 and the 5. So if we take a look at our second problem, we have 35 and 9/10 divided by 5/10. So we could say 40 divided by 1 is going to give me an estimate of 40. So my decimal point is going to go between the 1 and the 8. For our third problem, we have 514 and 9/10 divided by 9 and 5/10. So we might change that to 500 divided by 10 equals 50. So I take a look at the 5420, and it would make sense to place my decimal between the 4 and the 2. And for our last one, a little bit tricky here, we have 12 and 6/10 divided by 18. You'll notice that I did 10 divided by 20, which gives us, I didn't put an exact answer here because it would be less than 1 whole. So if it's less than 1 whole, it would make sense that my decimal point would go between the 0 and the 7 there, because that would be less than 1. For our math message today, you will need your math journal. You're going to go ahead and open that to page 283. If you need to, pause your video. While you grab it, get your book open, and let's take a look. Number 1, Glenn is buying a fish tank for his goldfish. Swimmy. Glenn learned that a 1-inch goldfish needs at least 230 cubic inches of water to be healthy. Swimmy is 1 inch long. Find the volume in cubic inches of each fish tank shown below. So notice you have fish tank 1 here and fish tank 2 here. They're asking you for a number model for both of those, the volume for both of those, and then you're going to answer question 2, which is which fish tank should Glenn buy for Swimmy? So go ahead and pause your video and see if you can't figure that out. So for the first tank, we need to take 4 times 8.5 times 7. Remember, your formula for finding volume is length times width times height. So we're going to use all 3 of those numbers. And when we multiply that out, we get 238 inches cubed. So, you ready for the next one? So for the second one, we will do 4 times 5.5 times 12. Again, we've got our length times our width times our height, those 3 numbers here. Multiply that out, we get 264 inches cubed. And now the question, which fish tank should Glenn buy for Swimmy? Well, if you will recall, in the problem up here at the top, it tells us 230 cubic inches of water is needed for Swimmy to be healthy. So actually, if we take a look at both of those aquariums, either one would work. So we could say both would work. Our lesson today is planning an aquarium, and this lesson is all about applying length, area, and volume. The why to our lesson today is we need to be able to use models, equations, and prior knowledge to plan solutions to real-world problems. We also need to be able to extend our understanding of area and volume and how it can relate to solving other types of problems. How we're going to go about that today is we're going to find the area and volume of different sized aquariums to determine the number of fish that can live in a particular aquarium. So today you're going to use what you know about length, area, and volume to plan your aquarium. So these are a couple of the pages in your math journal that you're going to be starting with today. And there's some important things that we need to discuss before you get started today. So first of all, we're going to take a look here. They are giving you 4 different aquariums that you are going to have to choose to place in your bedroom if you were able to do so. 230 cubic inches per inch of fish length is a common guideline for choosing an aquarium. So you might want to write that down. 230 cubic inches per inch of fish is the common guideline. Now, it's usually expressed in terms of gallons. Each inch of a fish length requires at least 1 gallon. So again, you might want to write that down as well. Each length of fish is at least 1 gallon. That's a mouthful. So that's kind of where that 230 cubic inches comes from. Something else that you might want to write down is the fact that the area of the base of the tank should be at least 30 square inches for each inch of fish length. So I'll say that one more time. The area of the base of the tank should be at least 30 square inches for each inch of fish length. So the greater the surface area of the water, the greater the oxygen level in the water. So looking at fish tanks, we have to consider lots of things. You will be working with a partner in class to complete which aquarium that you're going to choose. You're going to find the area of your base, which is why I was just talking about that here, the volume of the tank, and then you're going to go about answering some questions about how many fish do you think could live in your tank, why do you think that, and then completing the goldfish order form on the next page and explaining how you know which fish will fit and why and those kinds of things. So this is the goldfish order form. And on this page, you have different kinds of goldfish, as you can see here by their names and their colors. They give you the size of each fish. And then what you are going to determine is how many you're going to be able to order, how many total inches that is. And then once you have all of this completed, you will figure out what the combined length of each fish is for the aquarium. So all of this is going to help you determine which tank, how many fish, and all of that to go into your work for today. So let's summarize what you're going to be doing today. You are going to be finding volume and area of objects can be used to determine the optimal size of an object needed for a specific purpose. That sounds pretty wordy, doesn't it? So basically, we're going to take a look at some different types of fish tanks. We're going to find the volume, figure out what fish we can put in it, what sizes, and take all of that into consideration. Okie dokie. Good luck.